Well, thank you everybody for joining me today. This is the AI Skill Development Workshop. Today's workshop will be hands-on, so I'll be dropping a few things into the chat and asking you to participate in the chat as well, so you can have that chat box up and ready to roll as we prepare. And to get things started, we all have a starting point when it comes to AI. Perhaps you've already had your starting point. You're maybe already using AI productively. Maybe you've tried AI but have been underwhelmed with the results of your experiments. Maybe today is your starting point. So wherever you are at on your AI journey, you're going to find something that you can use here from today's workshop. So I am Dave Holton. If you don't know me, I'm the president of Marketing Ideas for Printers. Even if you do know me, I'm still the president of Marketing Ideas for Printers. I'm also a member of Simple Academy, and Simple is a community of the world's leading experts on AI skill development. At Simple, our mission is simple. It's to guide you through the transition to an AI-powered economy. My job is to help you as a commercial printer navigate that transition and guide you to becoming an AI workflow master. And I'm getting some background noise. I'm just going to mute the microphones there just for a moment. Okay, and we'll continue here. Okay, so AI Workflow Master. We're going to talk a lot about AI workflows to get things started. So let's start by saying, what is an AI Workflow Master? Well, for clarity, this is a term that my AI community invented to create a shared language around this idea. And this is what we mean by an AI Workflow Master. So here is a post on X from Andrew Wilkinson. He's a billionaire that runs an internet holding company. You can kind of think of him like the Warren Buffett of internet companies. So this is his post on X hiring for an AI first director of finance. So this is not a post for hype. He's running a serious business and he's hiring for a serious role. And the punchline of his post is that he's looking for someone that can do the work of 10 people by using AI. And that's today's reality. People applying for jobs need to demonstrate that they can do the work of 10 people with the assistance of AI. And so that starts to point us into what we mean by an AI workflow master. It is in your current role, you can do the work of 10 people when you use AI. That also implies that in your future role, you're going to be able to learn new roles and skills 10 times faster. And as an AI workflow master, one of the nice things to have along with that is the certification that proves to people that you can do big things with AI. All of that is what gets bundled up into the term AI workflow master. So with AI, we learn by doing, and when we use AI, we learn how to use AI just by the fact that we're using it. So we're going to have an exercise to kick this off here in a few moments, but to get you ready for that, have your favorite AI tool ready. That could be anything. Claude by Anthropic, ChatGPT, that's the horse I rode in on. That's the one I'm keeping on riding. Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, any of those. So just have that up and running. And we're going to go hands-on because there's a big difference between just passively consuming the information and proactively participating in the workshop. If you have not yet used an AI tool, if you're just getting started and you don't have a favorite yet, you can just go to chatgpt.com and create an account. It'll take you 30 seconds and that'll be enough for you to participate today. All right, so go ahead and get your chat tool ready, and I'd like you to help me out to tell me why you're here. You are an employee doing the work. That means you're serving customers, you're running the jobs, things like that. B means you are a solopreneur and maybe you're supporting printers through creative or marketing or specialty services. C means the buck stops with you. You're the owner running the show. You own the printing company. So go ahead and just type that into the chat. Find that chat tool on your meeting software. Let me know why you're here. Don't make me make it awkward by waiting for everyone to put your answer in. So we'll just go ahead and drop that in. I'm starting to see a few of them drift in. That's good. And I will use that information to help help to say where we're going. Okay, and we've got one that's running the whole alphabet, A, B, M, C. Okay, well, we're going to get the whole thing here today, so that'll work. All right, so looks like as I would expect, there's a lot of gravitation towards C, so we'll kind of nudge it in that direction. All right, so one thing, if you've been to these workshops before, here's a kind of a new addition here that I'm starting to talk about. I wanted to bring your attention to AI4printers.com. And if you're not familiar with that, I would encourage you, and maybe that's the path that brought you here, but if you're not familiar with that, take a peek at AI4printers.com. At AI4printers.com, you'll see a fair amount of information, including the tip of the week. And with the tip of the week, we're going to talk about the simple prompt, and we're going to talk about how to upgrade that simple prompt. And then the part that you don't see, but you're going to see it here on this workshop, is where did those come from? We backed those out of what we call the AI workflow prompt. And so to kind of tell you where we're going with the AI workflow, bringing that all together, AI workflow master, AI workflow prompt, I want to show you the progression that gets us there. And so we're going to start with that simple prompt. And this is the part where I'm just going to show you a few things. And the simple prompt, if you were to go to AI4printers.com today, you'd see this simple prompt. And it truly is pretty simple. That's what it is. And I have it sitting off to the side. I'm going to copy and paste it in here. And the simple prompt is, let's see, I'm going to actually, I'll run it over here. The simple prompt is just this: take this product or service and give me a basic pricing comparison with 3 competitors. Highlight any obvious differences I should consider. What's that product or service? We're just going to drop that in and say business card printing. So pretty simple prompt. It truly is simple, and you're going to get an answer similar to what you'd probably expect you would see. Now, in this case, AI is making up some information because it doesn't know who my competitors are. Kind of preconditioned it for this purpose just to kind of do some simulating. So you might want to drop in more competition in there. But the reason I want to show it to you, we won't get into those details, although even right there, that's going to give you some good information. But it is the simple prompt. But I do want to show you the next place we can go with that is if we upgrade that prompt. And that prompt upgrade, this is what you can request at AI4printers.com. I'm going to grab it here so we can see it. And I'm just going to drop it in. I'm going to stay really high level, but you can see we have a little bit more information. Now we're telling AI that, AI, you are a market research analyst. And we're going to drop all of that in there. And again, this is a prompt that you can request at AI4printers. For right now, the details of what we're seeing aren't critically important, but what I do want you to see is we're expanding what AI is doing here. And so AI is now getting more interactive with us. So now let's take it one step further, and I am going to show you the AI workflow prompts, because that's what we're going to be talking a lot about here today. And again, I'm not going to get into the details right now. I'm going to stay high level. But I'm going to drop in this AI workflow prompt. And now AI is still going to continue to be interactive with us, but we're well beyond just the simple things like tell me a knock-knock joke and AI talks back to us. Now we're getting AI. We're actually bringing in consultant level expertise without paying them the big bucks. We're bringing in that consultant to sit right beside us and work through this. So again, just to give you a little feel of where we're going, AI is going to say, I'm your expert in diagnosing customer pain using solution selling principles. Just to pause for a second, the simple prompt and the prompt upgrade, those were there to kind of set the stage to say, how do we compete with other printers on price? Now we're unpacking it a little bit more and saying, well, let's dive in and be a little more specific as how do we provide value to the customers we're working with? How do we discover their pain points? So now instead of just going broad and competing on talking about how to compete on price, we're dialing in more specifically. So I'm going to just go really high level here just to show you how AI will interact with you. AI is going to say, I'm your expert in diagnosing customer pain points. Here's the process we'll follow. Before we dive in, do we want a brief summary or do we just want to dive in? And we're just going to say, to stay high level, let's dive in. Okay, so AI is just asking us for a little information. Could you describe for me? Oh, this is step one. Could you describe the customer's business, the industry they're in? This would be your customer, the current goals or priorities, the key responsibilities. So I have some made up information here. We'll just drop some of it in. And if we were doing this in the more thoughtful way, this is where you could take a few moments to make sure you're giving it the information that's going to be most helpful. But for now, again, just staying at that high level. AI is asking us for information. We're giving it that information. We're working hand in hand with AI. And we could keep on going. And now we have step one, step two, and we're going to keep on going. We've aligned on this customer's world. If so, we're going to identify the symptoms of pain. So AI is checking in and saying, do we have the information right here? So we'll just say, yes, we're aligned. Okay, so step two is symptoms of pain. And I'm going to pick up the pace because there's more of the workshop that I want us to get to. And so has the customer, could you share any issues the customer has either explicitly expressed, too much alliteration in this one, explicitly expressed, or that you believe they're likely facing? And so we'll just give it some information. If we were to do this for real, we'd take a little bit more thoughtfulness on this, but now we're starting to unpack, what does that symptom of pain look like? Okay, do these accurately reflect? Sorry, my tongue used to work right before I hit the record button. Would you say these are accurate reflections of what they're experiencing, or would you like me to adjust or add? So AI is coming alongside, but we're going to say those are accurate. So let's move on to step three. And AI is going to say, are they latent or active pains? And so we're just coaching along, staying high level. The point is on this, I want to get you to the end of this so that you can see how quickly AI is going to be able to help you give you a good starting point to go with this customer. Okay, so on and on we go. AI is helping us identify that customer's active and latent pains. That tells us they're more focused on lead generation and immediate engagement, while the long-term retention issue may not yet be on their radar, even though it's potentially the bigger threat. So shall we go on to step four, which is to prioritize based on impact? And yes, of course, we want to go on to step four. So in this step, we're deciding, this is AI helping us out, we're deciding which pain rises to the top based on urgency, cost, or political visibility inside the customer's organizations. To help weigh them, could you share really anything there? So we're going to say, where's that pain coming from? We are going to say, as we're unpacking all of this, the customer is experiencing pain because of a major trade show in 3 weeks, and the VP of sales has pressure on us to hit the Q3 numbers. Okay, so AI says, yep, that sounds like that could be painful. AI is doing a lot of that thinking for us. Do we agree? We would take some more thoughtful time to say, yep, that looks right, or help adjust it if we need to. But we're going to keep on going. And so now AI is going to come through this at step 5. Here is the pain profile. So if we get to this point, is this something that's going to help you with your sales process as you approach this customer to sell them more printing? Do you know where to help them resolve that pain? This helps us uncover that. So we're going to leave that there. I don't want to go too deep into the details. So if I go back to our regularly scheduled programming, what we just did is we looked at the simple prompt, and we looked at how to upgrade that prompt. And then we just ran what we're calling the AI workflow prompt. This workflow prompt is one of over 3,200 AI workflow prompts found in the AI MBA. All right, so that was a whole lot of setup to get you used to thinking about AI workflows and becoming an AI workflow master. So now let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming and dive into this agenda. And we're going to talk about you plus AI skill development. So we're going to talk about the 3 actions needed to become an AI workflow master, the 3 opportunities that exist for AI workflow masters, and then your 3 options for participating in an AI saturated world. So spoiler alert, here's what's coming. There is a $4,000 in AI certifications and training, part of the Company Champion Certification Scholarship. And you can send your email address into the chat at any time if you want to claim that. It's there's no risk, no gotchas on that at all. But it is that way of getting that certification that shows how you can participate and lead in an AI world. We'll talk about this more later, but what you'll get with that scholarship is you will be able to go down the path to get the AI Workflow Practitioner certification. That is a certificate that proves that you can implement valuable AI workflows. You'll get 9 AI workflows. Those are yours to keep and use, and pass an exam that shows you how to shows that you know how to use them. And that is something that you can promote. That's normally $1,000, but it is free with this scholarship. And the exam, very friendly exam, pretty much an open book exam. So I can guarantee you won't have any trouble with that exam as you go through that. The second part of that scholarship is the AI Workflow Expert Certification. That is 8 workshops. There's really 9. There's an introductory workshop in there too. That's 8 or 9 workshops designed to take you from an AI novice to expert AI. It's really if you want to become a builder of the AI workflows. So the AI Workflow Practitioner, that's available for everyone in your organization. The AI Workflow Expert Certification, that's available for one person in your company, likely you because you're here today. So that is normally $3,000 in training and certifications. That is also yours for free with the scholarship. The third part is a trial of the AI MBA. We'll talk about that more as we go along as well. Who is claiming these scholarships? Serious AI people. Who is a serious AI person? Well, I'll just say it this way. It's either people that either are or want to become an AI workflow master. So if you don't feel like a serious AI person yet, it's time to change that. That's within your reach, and you will be a serious AI person by the end of this webinar. So just a reminder, if you want to get that scholarship for free, that's something you should do on this call. We are going to finish within one hour from our start time, but if you feel like you might drop off before we get to that end, just drop your email address into the chat now to claim that scholarship, and we'll make sure to get you set up with that. All right, now let's talk about the 3 actions that are associated with AI skill development. That is productivity, performance, and engagement. So it starts with this simple question: how can AI help me do my work faster and easier? It is a simple question, but we're going to unpack the answer to that a little bit now. And AI will help us build a toolkit of all of our areas of responsibility and the daily work we do in those areas of responsibility. It's a whole bunch of words. What do I mean? We're going to do that. This will be one of the first interactive pieces that we're coming up on here. So get your AI ready, because in a moment, I'll give you AI instructions that you can use to build your own productivity toolkit. And this will be customized to list your areas of responsibility. That's what I have listed on this example here. So as you build that toolkit, those are going to show up across the top, and that would be your job or your role responsibilities. And then as we go down in each column, you're going to see the daily work you do within each area of responsibility. Now, this looks like a lot of information on the screen, and you have permission to ignore it for now. Matter of fact, I'll kind of demand that you ignore it for now, and we'll bring more attention to that in a bit. So now we're going to take a few moments so that you can create this toolkit for your specific role right now. And we're going to do it with this prompt. I'm going to paste this into the chat here in just a moment. And this is something that you can use to build your personal productivity toolkit. So I'll put that in the chat. Now copy it, but don't run it yet, because I want to guide you on just a few short things before we do that. So have your AI tool ready, and let me make sure that I am getting the right one loaded here. And I'll drop this into the chat. And there it comes. So copy it. Again, get ready to paste it into your AI tool of your choice, but don't run it yet. And what we're going to do is I'm going to paste it here. And where I want you to focus is right on the very top. You'll see those very first 3 lines: roles, owner, company size is 10, industry, commercial printing. So if that describes you, go ahead and you are able to run it at that point. But if you need to change that to reflect your reality, your role, your company size, your industry, go ahead and make those changes. And then once you do, then you can go ahead and run that. And what you will see, as I'm running it on my screen here, you're going to see it starts to fill that in. As promised, there's your roles and responsibilities starting to fill in across the top, specific to you. My screen's a little bit smaller on when I'm presenting this webinar, so I'll have to scroll left and right a bit, but you can see the roles and responsibilities, and you can see it starts to fill in. What are the things that you're doing within those roles and responsibilities? Yours, of course, is probably going to be different than mine, depending on how you've customized it. So what you need to see here is just take a look at that, scan through it, and is that roughly right? Does that match up who you are and what you do? Experience shows that it's going to be about 80 to 90% accurate, just even right out of the box, just in what we've done. So if you do see something that needs some tweaking, like for instance, just to pick something random here, if you are not responsible for risk management and compliance, you just go ahead and have that conversation with AI. Say, I don't take care of risk management and compliance. Find something else to replace that. You could do that for a whole column. You can do that for an individual. You can do that for an individual item in there. So for today, you have that prompt. You can go back to that anytime you want. If you want to tweak that a bit, you can, but you should be about 80 to 90% right in there. All right, so let's take a look at this a little bit more. Now, one thing that I also want to caution you is that this looks like a wall of words. The reason that it looks like that is because it's a wall of words. Again, don't let yourself get overwhelmed by that. Just know that it is working with you and for you. So you should see on your screen something like what I just had in my browser, or now what I have on the presentation here. You should see something like this. Now, this is not a toolkit yet. Really what you have here is you have a toolbox with a bunch of labels on it. We still need to put the tools into it. So how do you fill it with the tools? Well, what's on my screen is a toolkit, and all of the tools are in place as a productivity kit for sales and marketing and commercial printing. That's that label across the top there. So this one is already filled up. So this is available as part of the AI Accelerator for printers, but this is also where you can learn how to build the tools for your own toolkit too. We'll get to that as we talk more about that scholarship at the end. AI workflows. So as we're talking about AI workflows, these boxes, these are the AI workflows, just like we looked at earlier. So we already kind of took a look at that through the progression of the simple to the upgraded prompt and then the AI workflow. Let's take a look at one more of them here. And we're going to look at the lead scoring model as an AI workflow. So I'm going to demonstrate to you the AI workflow for the creation of a lead scoring model, which helps you stop guessing at which leads to follow up with and start focusing on the sales that really matter the most. And to do that, I'm going to pull up, actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull up one that I have pre-run just because it's a little bit easier just to follow along on that one. So let me get to that. And let's see, we are on the lead scoring model. So again, this one has been pre-run. So if you think about what we just did with that AI workflow, let me go all the way back to the top. Here it is. We just copy and paste. That's all that's happened here. So that wall of words, again, don't get consumed by that. If you know how to copy and paste, you can run an AI workflow. And that's what has happened here. AI then comes alongside us and say, we are going to build the lead scoring model for commercial printing sales, following the structured process that has been outlined. And what you're going to see here is a number of steps. And what happens is you are going to provide more information at each one of those steps. For instance, AI is asking these context questions, like let's clarify the why behind this model. So AI is asking more information and even making some suggestions. And so AI is even suggesting, like, are these the right steps? You don't even have to worry about the details so much on this. But what I want to make sure that you're seeing here is we're not just letting AI run wild. It is AI working with us and us providing information and stopping at each step so that you can validate that that information is correct. And if we look at this, the lead scoring, that was step one. Step two, let's identify high value lead attributes. AI is asking, here's some information I need from you to understand a little bit more about what you're trying to do. We provide that information. And AI says, great, now I know how to do step two, and here's what I came up with. Here's what the high value lead attributes look like. And we good. And then AI says, are we good here? And we are saying, yep, that looks great. We are confirming it. We could stop and say, nah, you're a little bit off on that one. Let's adjust. It's that step, every step of the process, we can come alongside and make sure AI is keeping on the right path with us. Step three, define engagement signals. AI is asking, which of the following actions are meaningful buying signals for Print Perfect, our fictitious company here? And it's making some suggestions. And we can say, well, these are the highlights, or you can add your own. And so AI says, got it. Let's turn those engagement signals into something more meaningful. What is the weight of those, the scoring weight of those? And on and on. Step four, assigning weights and scoring rules. You're starting to see how this happens. AI is getting information from you. You are working with it. And we're going to keep on going and confirming. Step five, implement a system. And step five is, yep, that looks like we're right. I'm obviously fast forwarding through all of this. We want then to integrate lead scoring into the sales process. AI is going to tell us how to do that. Step seven is, let's do the final review and implementation. And there it is. We have, at the end of working with AI, we will now have a lead scoring system. That's how an AI workflow works. So again, I got to be careful not to get too far into the weeds. I get kind of excited at what AI does, but we still have stuff to talk about. So that is one of the tools in the productivity toolkit for sales and marketing and commercial printing. That one's ready to use. You can also learn how to build these type of tools for yourself. So that's where we're going to go next. That's the first part of this is now, and now we're going to look at, let me see. I got ahead of myself. This is the prompt that we just run. One other thing that you may have noticed, I kind of glossed over it a bit, but AI is actually pulling information out of us. It's not just asking us for information and saying, oh, you said this before, so now I can pull more information out of you as we work along there. So when you run a prompt like this, you're going to do several hours of work in just less than 20 minutes. As a matter of fact, I had actually just talked with someone else about a month ago. He was writing up a training and documentation and processes for new hires. And long story really short, he said he would have expected to do maybe about 2 weeks of work if he were to do it without AI. I have him on video saying this, so it sounds so weird to say it, but I have him on video so I can bring him up and show him here sometime. He said it took him only 35 minutes using a workflow prompt like this. Not only does that 35 minutes, he said it really only took him 20 minutes. The extra 15 minutes, he went down a rabbit trail to even make it better. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. This brings us to the first of 3 turkey problems. There are 3 turkey slides in this presentation, so bonus points if you find them all. I experienced the turkey problem head on when it became clear that AI was going to impact the way we provide marketing services to help you as printers sell more printing. And the turkey problem comes out of a book called The Black Swan. It's an amazing book published around 2009. It's about the fact that we live in a very unpredictable world where the things that matter the most for the long-term success of the economy and our society and really everything else can be impacted by something unpredictable that comes out of nowhere. Anyone else been there? What do you do when you live in a world that's like that? Well, in one of the chapters, the author talks about what he calls the turkey problem. The turkey problem goes like this. The turkey wakes up every single day and is predictably cared for by a farmer. That turkey gets fed every single morning, gets to go out and play in the yard with its turkey friends, has a really nice place to hang out every night. So this turkey basically taken care of, and that repeats itself day after day after day after day until eventually the turkey concludes, ah, this is what being a turkey must be like, and life is going to be this way forever. Until that one day, that's usually right before a holiday like Thanksgiving, when a turkey usually ends up on the table, something changes, the farmer comes out, grabs the turkey by the neck, and all of a sudden it's lights out. So that's the turkey problem, and it shows up like this in the real world when it comes to AI. The turkey problem says, okay, AI can do this task, but it certainly can't do, and then you fill in the blank with whatever the favorite thing is that you think that AI cannot do, and you fill that blank in, and that's the turkey problem. So here's what I want to suggest. If that's on your screen right now, meaning that you're seeing something like this productivity toolkit, so if that's on your screen right now, that's the turkey problem. If you're thinking that AI can't do that, well, if it's on that screen, pretty good chance that it can. So if it's in your toolkit, not only can AI help you do it in your current role, and that's where we can look at the slide here, it's the current role is you plus AI can do the job at least 10 times faster with no compromise in quality and usually an increase in quality. Let's break that one down a little bit more. So AI in your current role, it's you plus AI. That's a point I really want to make clear here. We're not just letting AI run across the whole world and make stuff up and run every part of our lives. We're still along with it. It's you plus AI. And so it's you plus AI can do the job at least 10 times faster. Hopefully you've seen that in the examples that I've kind of gone through at that high level. I should be no question that that's 10 times faster. And again, I have my proof from the guy that did 2 weeks of work in 35 minutes. That is way more than 10 times faster. And then no compromise in quality. So that's an important point to think about too, because remember, you are still the checkpoint as you move through the work in an AI workflow. That means you are quality control. So if you do see a quality issue, that finger points right back in your way because you are working with AI to check everything every step of the way. And then this last part, usually an increase in quality. And that can kind of make people bristle sometimes. It's like, really, is that going to be an increase in quality? And honestly, maybe 2 years ago, I'd have to kind of cover my face when I said that. It's like, is that true? But AI is progressing fast. And even since the last time I did this workshop, now we have ChatGPT 5. It has become increasingly true, and it's taking a whole nother level of becoming even more true that there's an increase in quality. All right, so that also has an implication for your future role because you can also significantly accelerate and many times skip the lengthy learning process. Because what's the best way to learn something? It's to do it. What's the best way to learn how to do something with AI? It's to do it with AI, which is exactly what was happening on those AI workflows. We are working with AI. We're not only doing the work, but we're learning how to do that project as well. All right, so let's go on to our next slide. And now we're going to talk about performance. And so most people, if we go back to that productivity toolkit you just ran, most people are going to find 5 to 10 workflows in that productivity toolkit that really move the needle and saving a bunch of time. It's not unusual to find that people will shave maybe 20% off of their daily work time. So here's a way you can think about that. Are you used to doing your job Monday through Friday? Well, if we shave off 20% of that time, now do your work Monday through Thursday and take time on Friday to become more strategic. That's where we start talking about performance, because with AI, a great way to become more strategic is to run performance experiments. And so what we'll see here on the slide is whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. Let's bring that closer to our world. If you are the printer running the most performance experiments, AI will help you be the printer that wins. So performance experiments, what are we talking about here? Well, now we're going to take a shift from a productivity toolkit to a performance experiment toolkit. So have your AI ready. I'm going to give you another prompt here in a moment. so that you can build your own performance experiment toolkit. And when you do, you'll see the key performance indicators listed on the screen here. You're going to see those come across the top. And in plain English, these are the things you're responsible for doing better over time in your role. And then in the columns, as it fills in, you're going to see a combination of experts in the field and known strategies from those experts to help you get the results that you desire. So let's do that. Let's get that prompt in your hands. Let me get that to you. And it is here. I'm going to drop that into the chat. Go ahead and copy that out. The meeting software does something weird with some of that. It insists on turning things into some emojis. It probably looks like that on your screen. When you copy that, I think you'll find that that'll work just fine in your AI. If for some reason it doesn't come out of emojis and back into the text that we're looking for, you can just wave your hand and I'll make sure to follow up with you after the meeting to do that. But that is the prompt for a performance experiments toolkit. So let's go back to where we were at. Your screen should look like this, similar to this. And you can just go ahead and drop that right in there. This time, you do not have to change anything. This time, AI already knows more about you from the previous toolkit, the productivity toolkit. Now you can just enter that and run that. And AI is going to start building your performance toolkit specifically for you. So again, we're looking at a lot of information here. It might look a little bit scary and intimidating as all this rolls out here, but don't let that scare you or intimidate you. This is all valuable information. It's all pre-written information. We've got you covered with this kind of work here. You don't have to understand it. You just have to know what's being used here. So here it is. There's our KPIs across the top, with the areas that we are responsible for improving. And then under the columns, you should see a collection of expert advice and the strategies that the experts are recommending. No slouches in there. You got people like Warren Buffett. In my example, yours might be different. Michael Porter, and on and on. You can kind of glance through that, see a lot of big winners in there. All right, let me pull this back up here, and we are going to look at one of these. We're going to look at increasing retention through hyper-personalized experiences. That is one of the performance experiments in the toolkit for sales and marketing and commercial printing. If you're looking for something ready to use, this is something that is ready to use. So we're going to take a look at this, and we're going to look at this prompt here. This is what the AI workflow for this performance experiment looks like. So again, this is one that I have pre-run. And so we'll just take a high-level look at that. Get myself to the right spot here. So this will be very similar to what we looked at before, and I'm not going to go into the details. We're just going to stay the high level. But again, I want to make sure you're understanding what's going on here. With the AI workflow, it is going to walk us through a series of steps where in step one, it's going to say, here's our starting point. How can you as the human partner come alongside it and say, like, here is the information that AI needs. You're going to provide that information. And you're going to have a moment where AI is going to work on it and say, okay, here's where I think we go on step one. Does this look right? This is that quality control that I'd mentioned earlier, where you're going to say, yep, that looks right. Or maybe you have to adjust something, but you're not going to go beyond step one until you and AI agree that you're on the same page with step one. And we just keep on going through. Step two, define customer data points for personalization. Give AI more context, come to an agreement that you agree that the work in step two is done. And then you go on to step three. And then we just keep going through that process. Here's what we're going to accomplish in step three. AI asks for more context. You provide that information. AI says, here's what I think where we're at. Do you agree? If we do, then we go on to step four, all the way through. Design the hyper-personalized customer journey. Information and context. You and AI come into agreement. You go on to step five, and all the way through until we get to the very end, And we have a final deliverable, the hyper-personalization strategy, and specific for you in your role. All right, so again, high level, AI is very, very, very fast. It's not instant, so we didn't go into every nuance and detail here, so it does require a little bit of thoughtfulness, but that is the concept of how an AI workflow is going to help you get things done very quickly and efficiently. All right, so let's go back to that performance experiment toolkit again. That's on the screen. Everything that's on the screen, what we just kind of looked at that high level, these can all be turned into a bunch of experiments to help you move forward. And AI can help you run those experiments in a hugely efficient manner. So once again, as we've noticed, and if you use AI in this way, AI is going to pull the information out of you. It'll help bring things to the surface that you might not have even thought about as you run these prompts. So after we run a prompt like this, what we see is we have a bunch of experiments. And whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. And these are the things that we believe are going to make things better. They'll help enhance the brand messaging or increase qualified lead volume, things like that. And so if you've ever set out to accomplish a goal in business or in your personal life, you'll know that it starts by just doing that very first thing you need to do to bring you closer to that goal. And if you knew what that very first thing was, you'd already be doing it. Well, finding that very first thing to do, that's step number one. Now, because you need to stretch yourself to the target, you're going to need to sit down and you're going to create a list of ideas. You're going to come up with a list of maybe 10 or more things. And if you've done this before, if you paid attention to the experiments that you've ran, you'll come to a conclusion that maybe out of those 10 of ideas, every single one that you thought would be helpful, maybe 8 of them will make no difference whatsoever. You'll try something and it won't be as helpful as you had hoped. You made promises to yourself about the results and then it didn't work. And you know what? That's fine. That's the risk that comes along with running an experiment. And maybe you'll even find one of those things that you thought is actually going to make things better might have even actually made it worse. You thought something would improve the results, but it took progress in the other direction. Again, that's part of experimenting. But somewhere in those ideas, those 10 ideas that you had, you're going to find that one that's going to make the difference. And if you knew which one was going to really make the difference, you just do that one thing and we wouldn't even have to have this conversation. We wouldn't even need to talk about experiments. So what we know is that in order to produce better results, we need to run as many of these performance experiments as we can. And that's why we say the whole game here is whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. Now, let's just pretend that you and I are very similar in our expertise. In reality, maybe you're better at marketing than me. Maybe you're worse at marketing than me. But for this conversation, let's just pretend that we are exactly equally capable. We're working on a marketing project and you're going to do it the old way without AI. I'm just going to run all these marketing experiments as fast as I possibly can. And at the end of the quarter, what we'll find is that I'll run circles around you because I ran the most performance experiments. And that is what takes us to turkey slide number 2. You should now be able to say 2 things. You should be able to say AI can help me create a lead scoring model. That's what we did with that productivity workflow prompt. You should also be able to say AI can help me develop a hyper-personalization strategy that enhances customer retention. That's the performance experiment we just looked at. Now, you might be saying, certainly it can't replace my expertise. Now, if you ran the prompts, you create your own list of performance experiments and you looked at those experiments for your current role, you will find that it's you plus AI can run the performance experiments at least 10 times faster with no compromise in quality and usually an increase in quality, not compared to yourself without AI, but we're comparing you to the world's top experts. So not only is your expertise in danger, every expert's expertise is in danger. And this is a major aha moment for people in this new AI world, being able to run these performance experiments faster than anybody else and the way that affects everyone's expertise. All right, the last one is in this group is engagement, and we need to do 2 things. We need to track results and we need to communicate progress and expertise in the form of certifications. And so to do that, we have a process that we just look at. What did you work on? How long did it take you to do with AI? How long did it take you to do without AI before? And we just calculate that number. Your job is to make sure that number goes up as high as it possibly can for everyone on your team. If you don't think measuring progress is a big deal, just think about the last time you posted on LinkedIn or any social media. What's the first thing you did? Probably the same thing I did when I started to prepare this event for the workshop on LinkedIn. You start tracking the results by checking that progress. Is that red dot there? Is that number growing? That's what makes social media so addicting to so many people. Tracking makes an enormous difference in engagement. And the second thing about certifications is certifications mark and reward your progress, and certifications allow you to prove your AI expertise and promote it for you and your team to show the world that you know how to use AI to get results. Okay, we are about 45 minutes in, and we're actually getting close to the finish line, probably about 10 minutes away. But to get there, let's look at the opportunities that result from becoming an AI workflow master. So the opportunity is, we know that every time there's a major shift in technology, there are just orders of magnitude of opportunity created in the economy. We've been through these. The PC revolution. Microsoft came out of nowhere, and now they're everywhere, world famous and fabulously wealthy. Internet, Amazon came out of nowhere, and now they're everywhere. Social media, Facebook came out of nowhere. There was a time, believe it or not, when no one knew about Facebook or LinkedIn, but there they are. And the transportation revolution. Uber, there was a time where Uber came out of nowhere. So when a shift like this happens, how do you find opportunities and be the printer that comes out of nowhere? It really comes down to two things. It comes down to seeing the opportunity and taking action. So what are those opportunities? An AI workflow master opportunity number one, that's for employees. You have the opportunity to upskill yourself as an employee. The employees are running the equipment, managing the projects, keeping the jobs flowing. If that's you, AI can help you do the work of 10 people, not by replacing anyone, but by making you way more valuable. You know, there's a stigma that used to kind of go along with this, maybe still does for some people. It says, if I start to use AI, I'm going to work myself out of a job and I'm going to get fired. People would worry that they're going to set themselves up to be replaced by AI and then let go. But who really gets let go? It's not the person using AI to do the work of 10 people. It's the other 9 people not being productive that are going to get let go. So I won't camp out on this one too long today, but if you are in a specific role, that's a lot of upside for you. And as a business owner, you want these kind of employees. AI workflow master opportunity number 2, that's for the solopreneurs in the room. That's freelancers or consultants and designers, people who support the print shops from the outside. With AI, you can scale your solo operation by delivering more value faster. Really crazy thing is, experts are saying that in the next few years, we'll see the world's first billion-dollar valuation solopreneur company. And that sounds so ridiculous. I just had to scale it down for this slide and bring it down to 100 million. And the truth is, these already exist, the 1 million, the 10 million, the 100 million solopreneurs. I've talked with a number of printers ready to transition to their encore career, and maybe that's the opportunity, is AI helps you get there in your next career. But for today, we'll keep moving because most of you on this call are inside the print shop and not orbiting around it. So let's talk about what really moves the needle if you own the whole thing. That is AI Workflow Master opportunity number 3. That is where you can make more money as a company. Now the focus shifts to the team that you employ. What happens when an organization full of people starts to apply these AI mastery methods to their own roles? You get to the point where the employer that builds a team with the most AI workflow masters wins. Let me say that one again. That's a big one I want you to hear. Whoever has the team with the most AI workflow masters wins. You move faster than competitors, you find new opportunities, you execute the most AI-powered performance experiments. You will be positioned to be the printer and marketing services provider that emerges out of the AI revolution. So that leaves you with three options to consider. The first option is do nothing. And you might guess that that's probably what I would consider a bad idea, because you'll soon be living in a world that expects you to use AI to do the work of 10 people. It's not enough anymore to have a fleeting familiarity with AI. You need to know how to use AI to come alongside to do the real work every day. That real work, that's all the boxes for those AI workflows we talked about on those grids. Let's go back to Andrew Wilkinson's job posting here for a moment. There's one line that's kind of interesting. It's this one that I've highlighted, where he says, would never hire a lawyer unless you absolutely had to. And if you look at that one, it might seem a little out of place, but here's what's being said. If we paraphrase that, what he's saying is you would never spend company resources on external service providers unless you have tried to first solve the problem with AI yourself. And then, and only then, are you allowed to spend company resources on expensive outside service providers. That's what he's really saying there. So the turkey does nothing. So please don't do nothing. Don't be a turkey. You don't have to be a turkey. You can turn into an AI eagle very easily. Maybe a tough year for a lot of people, but it can be a very good year if we can help you get focused on the opportunities for AI workflow masters. If you decide to do something, now you can do this yourself. Now you can, but it will take you time to filter through all of the AI buzz and the hype to find the good stuff. And hopefully you've learned the current version before the next version comes out. If you do it yourself, you have to hope that you can get your AI skills to the point where you can stay ahead of all those advances in AI. And that is happening faster and faster every day, it seems. And you can find others to help you do it too. Spend just a few moments on social media and you'll find plenty of ads offering AI help. But consider something here. If you've seen some things here today that you've not seen before, that might suggest to you that my AI community understands some things about AI that others do not, and that you might want to consider continuing your AI journey with marketing ideas for printers, because we are laser focused on helping printers with their AI journey. That brings us back to that scholarship, because that's how we can help you get started. It's the Company Champion Certification Scholarship, $4,000 in AI training and certifications, and it's yours for free if you drop your email address into the chat by the time we close out this session, and then we'll get you set up with that scholarship. So let's talk about what that includes. First part is the AI Workflow Practitioner. That is going to give you 9 hyper valuable AI workflows. Those are for you to use and keep as long as you want. You can pass the exam on AI workflows and their applications to business. Very easy, almost open book exam. And when you do that, you will gain the AI Workflow Practitioner certification. That is something that is available for everyone in your organization. That comes along free with that scholarship. Next thing is the AI Workflow Expert certification. That is available for one person in your company, likely you, because you're watching this workshop with me here. So the AI Workflow Expert, that is 8 or 9, if we look at the introductory courses, 8 or 9 workshops designed to take you from an AI novice to an AI workflow expert. That's the course that is a self-paced course that will teach you how to build AI workflows. This is a way that you can move from a consumer of an AI to a builder of AI. So that certification equips you, or if you want to designate another person on your team, that equips you to design the AI tools that fit your business. Again, that's free with the scholarship for one person in the company, normally $3,000. If you were to get that directly from my community, I can get that to you free as part of the scholarship. The other part of it is the AI MBA. I don't even have a slide for this one yet, but that library of over 3,200 AI workflows. If you think back to what we talked about at the very beginning about the simple and then the upgraded prompt, and then how you really get a lot of work done with that AI workflow prompt, the AI MBA contains over 3,200 of AI workflows just like that to help you get that done, help you get daily work done. The scholarship comes with a 30-day trial for everyone in your organization to the AI MBA. All right, so it's a high-value offer. It's a no-brainer, and I'm offering this to you because I love working with printers and I want to see you succeed with AI and not just play catch-up. So you can either call me stupid for making such a high value offer, or I'll call you on the carpet and question your sanity for not accepting this high value offer. We can wrestle that out in the alley if we need to. All right, let's get closer here to wrap things up. The future belongs to AI workflow masters. In your current role, you will find that you can do the work of 10 people using AI. In the future roles, you will learn new roles and skills 10 times faster, and you will gain the certifications to prove that you can do these type of things with AI. One more note. For me, this is really very personal. I started exploring AI partly out of curiosity, but mostly because I wanted to make sure that my company, Marketing Ideas for Printers, was prepared for a world about to be saturated with AI. But it became so much more than that. This really is personal because I've spent my career helping printers succeed. I have never seen a shift like this one. AI is not a trend, it's a transformation. And you can approach this transformation not with fear, but with confidence. I want you to have the tools and the confidence and the support, not only to keep up with AI, but to lead with AI. That's why we built this AI Accelerator for Printers program, specifically for printers like you, because it fits perfectly with our promise of helping you sell more printing. And with that, I'll wrap things up. Thank you for attending today's AI Skill Development Workshop.
Thank you, Dave.